fastest rising podcast in all of pro wrestling, the Tuck Your Chin podcast. Today, we have a huge episode. First, I'm going to bring in my co-host, as usual, the lovely metalhead, Mr. Julian.
GTS. Thank you so much for having me back on. It's a very big honor to be on this episode because me being a huge GTS wrestling fan and all, I was super stoked when I found out we got to have the one and only Kirby on.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up? So, let's get right into questions. Julian, I'll let you start on this one.
Great. I think I can think of some good ones. Oh yeah, I got one. Favorite match you've wrestled in GTS?
Okay. This one is not well known, but it helped me accomplish a very big goal of mine. One of my favorite matches in GTS was when I got to wrestle Jimmy Rave for the GTS title.
Ooh.
Because at the time, I who wrestled for WWE and WCW. When I wrestled Jimmy, it made me able to say that I've wrestled someone from WWE, WCW, TNA, New Japan, and Ring of Honor.
Oh, shit.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool, my man. That's pretty cool. So, my question is, when did you decide you wanted to be a pro wrestler? We'll go with the pro wrestler. You get
so that...
Yes. No, you're good, man. I was just talking to Julian.
So the not continue. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, you can curse.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes they slip out, and I apologize in advance. I try not to make it a habit, but it does happen. So, so I want to say it was like 2010. Yeah. So 2010, my two buddies from. So for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Indiana. So my two friends from back home were going to start a company. And I was wrestling. And they're like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But every time I pitched and I kept telling me, you can't do that. You're not proper. Can I be a manager? No, you can't. You're not trained. Can I be a ref? No, you can't. You're not trained. So I just got mad. I was like, fuck this. I typed in because I was living in Virginia at the time, years later.
Oh, well, Mr. Kirby, you kind of went like robot there for a second, so that's why we were laughing.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good. So that's why we were doing this.
That's what my dance moves look like, actually. They're pretty atrocious.
Julian. You're gonna get a lot of that if the robot thing keeps happening. It just make it goofy.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, well, we are a group of goofy people. So, okay, Mike, that's enough. All right, so what was it like? Because I remember this one storyline. It was Joe Wolf and Jimmy Controversy, and like you were, and apparently, I
was Joe Wolf's bodyguard.
Yeah, I have to say, I feel like I hated Joe Wolf. He was such a good bad guy. And it was like, what is poor guy? Like, he has to deal with that midget. So, like, they call him Time Nerd for a reason.
Oh.
Yeah, what was it like? What was it like? Kind of getting to like break away from like Joe Wolf's shadow and doing your own thing, and you did really good at it.
Oh, thanks. It was fun. Really enjoyed working with Joe. Me and Joe get along pretty good outside the in the ring, not so much. But outside the ring, we get along just fine. As far as breaking out, I really liked it because I was trying to branch into a new gimmick in the indies. So I was trying to incorporate that into me on GTS. And that's where you guys moves like the Falcon Punch and the Hadouken. So it was a lot of So it was a lot of fun for me to start branching out, start trying new things that were funny and silly and goofy outside of just standing there frowning all the time next to Joe.
Yeah. So my next question. So on the topic of Mr. Joe Wolf, how did you guys come up with the Tiny Turd nickname? I always wanted to know that.
I honestly don't know. I think he had it before I got onto GTS, and it just stuck. Someone called him a tiny turd one day.
Oh my god! I remember. Kirby?
Hold up, everybody. We're unedited. We're fine. We hear him somewhat. Oh, Kirby,
there we go. You froze big time for a second there, but
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I remember this. I think like with the whole Tiny Turd, they were calling him like right when he turned heel because he was like this weird Peter Pan like character when he first.
Yes.
And then he found out to be the weird scarecrow dude hiding in the trees, and then he became Joe Wolf, and then he became the douchebag millionaire Joe Wolf, who buys a dollar store. And yeah, matter of fact, I wonder how Joe Wolf is doing these days in his mansion.
Go for it, Julian.
God, I think it got foreclosed.
Joe Wolf, if you're hearing this, there's room downstairs for you in the corner.
I'm sure you're a nice person. I'm sure you're a nice person, Joe. It's just you're really good at being a douchebag. I'm like, God, tiny turd.
Tiny turd. Oh, we just worked on Joe Wolf for like 5 minutes. Sorry, Joe Wolf.
All right, yeah. Three more seconds to make fun of Joe Wolf. One of my favorite moments with Joe, outside of fighting him all over Tom's River, New Jersey, was when we had a match a couple weeks before that, and we went for the test of strength. I put my hand up, and you see this gap of where his fingertips stopped and where my elbow started.
That's how shorty is. Good times.
Go for it, Julian.
All right, so
yeah, just catch your breath real quick.
God, just imagining poor Joe just trying to reach. Oh, poor guy. Anyway, while we're on the topic of like Grimm's toy show, and that's like one of the big things is toys. As you can see, I got my Funko Pop collection. I noticed you got some Funko Pops of your own. What is your favorite Funko Pop that you own?
Okay, I can show you.
This could be good.
I have two. Because one is autographed and one is not autographed yet, but it's amazing. Actually, I will grab it. Give me 2 seconds.
Take all the time.
Shameless plug. Let's plug something.
Right. This is sponsored by Minute Maid.
Yeah.
As I drink it out of the gallon.
if you watch really closely, you'll see the wild animal grab the 2 Funko Pops, and he sits down, and he comes back on the podcast. Hello, good sir. He's back.
All right. Yes, I'm back. Okay. So, first off, my favorite one that isn't autographed yet, but will be hopefully soon, is the, if you guys can see it, the Dragon Armor Red Ranger.
That is amazing.
This was a gift from my 2 brothers that live in Virginia. I want to say they sent it to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and I was ecstatic. I was very happy when I got that. I haven't gotten Austin St. John to sign it yet, but I'm very, very looking forward to getting the chance to get him to sign it. And the one that is signed is this one.
Dragon Ball Z.
Goku.
Mm-hmm.
The
Super
voice
Saiyan
actor?
Goku. Yes. I actually have 2 Gokus, and both of them are signed, but that one is a little bit more special. This one is the Super Saiyan Goku. I have the Ultra Instinct Goku. But this one I got signed the first time I met Sean Schimmel, and it was such a cool experience. I mean, this is also like the more iconic look, so it just it holds a little bit specialer of a place than the silver-haired Goku, even though that one is amazing, and it's up on this shelf back here.
Okay. Well, Julian's grabbing his Funko Pop, so let's just let's trade Funko Pops.
Hey, we're showing off our collections here.
I only have 2. This is
Well,
bad.
if that's the case, I do have one more that I did forget about, but it kind of blows the roof off of just about all the other ones I own.
Ooh, great. So.
I got my man, the big man, and
Is that Wyatt Finley, Bray Wyatt? And
it's,
Angela! Oh my god.
Nice.
Assassin's Creed.
I don't even know where I got this from or this one, so I just have it.
These Assassin's Creed games are amazing. Okay,
Oh.
so
The new one, plug it. New one dropping this holiday season. Buy it. Do all that fun stuff.
Oh,
yes,
about the Vikings, I remembered, yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
they had me at Vikings. So the one that blows all other Funkos out of the water is this Colossus. But this Colossus is signed by Stan Lee.
Rest in peace.
Yes. My girlfriend sent this to me as a birthday present while I was laid up in the house after surgery, and I legitimately almost cried. Because ironically, she did not know. She just bought a random X-Men figure that had a Stan Lee autograph. She didn't know that this guy is one of my favorite X-Men. So it was a double whammy, and I got a little misty-eyed. I won't lie.
Yeah. So my next question is how is it behind the scenes at GTS? Like stuff we don't see. Hey.
This guy's just trying to show his love for his Funkos. It's okay. You can keep showing them off, and I'll keep reacting to them while I answer his question, though. It's chaotic, to say the least, because you get probably 30 to 40 people. Sometimes you only get 10, and you're like, okay, we got to put something together. Or you get 30, 40 people, and you're like, okay, there are too many people here. How do we get everybody on screen for screen time, some kind of match? That's where you get your giant battle royals, your hardcore scrambles, stuff like that. It's easier having the bigger groups when we do since now we're outside compared to the warehouse filming, but it's chaotic. It's a lot of fun. I leave GTS with a huge smile on my face, and ready to go back the next Sunday, but it is chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah, as a fan, I understand. Like, sometimes you gotta do those fatal 40 ways elimination.
That's Steel Cage Battle Royal.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that. I was totally in that.
There's a bunch of weird stuff GTS did. They had
they had a steel cage ladder match.
Oh yeah. That was the Grim Doo-Hop storyline, I think.
When we were in the first warehouse, we had the cage. So the reason so many matches are filmed in the cage is because the cage getting put up is such a hassle. It's like 8 or 9 big pieces of metal that we have to bracket together, we have to screw together. Sometimes we have to zip tie certain spots together. It is a long process. So it is either get everything done and then have the one big cage match, bless you.
God bless.
Or it's put the cage up first thing before anyone gets started and then just do all of the matches in a cage.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
We don't have that WWE budget where it just lowers and goes back up. Like,
hey, if all you people watching, go give them Cash App them some money so they can get the budget to
so we can get the lowering and raising cage.
Ding 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 ding.
It could already be up there. You don't even have to set it up. You just need some WD-40 and Gorilla Glue.
Almost
put it together.
Get Seth Rollins killed.
Yes. Almost have Seth Rollins murdered.
Yeah, because Mike, do you know what we're talking about? Apparently,
remind me of the event, and I'll probably remember.
It was like Monday Night Raw. It's like right before Seth Rollins was going to have a big cage match with like Dean Ambrose or something like that, and Rollins was like trying to like attack Dean Ambrose in the ring. Like as the cage is lowering, he got like a chair, about ready to go in the ring, but the cage was almost to the ring to lock in, and they have these little spikes that go in these little holes, and that seals the cage so it doesn't fall. And Seth almost got impaled in the back.
He was like this far away from getting it right here on his back.
He could have been killed.
Oh yeah, definitely. It would have went just.
Oh my god, yeah, it was crazy. Well, oh yeah, it's my turn to ask a question.
Yes.
Four
questions.
Before I get to my question, I am going to show off some of my. There's 3 of them. One is a set, and the other 2 are just regular ones.
Go for it.
It's one of my first favorite ones.
Yes.
Ooh, I love Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
As a rock star, as a filmmaker, I love Rob Zombie. Which reminds me, I'm still behind. I need to watch it's Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, and the third one that just came out like a year or 2 ago, which I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
The third movie that he made.
Yes, the third House of a Thousand Corpses.
Ooh.
Ice Cube. Oh. Okay. One of my favorite hip hop artists of all time.
Yeah.
And this is actually a set of 3 that I'm going to show you that I think Mike will be very happy to see. Baby Metal.
Oh, get the fuck
Oh.
fuck Baby Metal.
Whoa. Oh. Hey, I like Baby Metal. I can listen to Baby Metal.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, Baby Metal. Yeah.
Fuck you. Look at that. Right there. Fuck you, Mike.
I thought you were going to show me
I remember when they had a song feature for NXT, I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
This is cool.
I thought you were going to show me the Nickelback Funko Pops, and then I would be happy. Oh, hold up.
I do not have
There's
to go
a time
back
in
Funko Pops.
every damn podcast we do where we bring up these legends.
Later. When we
Later.
get-
We'll do the wrestling interview now.
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I got a lot of Funko Pops, mostly like rock related. I got AC/DC, Def Leppard, Metallica, Motley Crue. I got Johnny Cash.
So, okay, I'm a bit obsessive on mine. I'll be honest. I have, if you can see, each of them are in like little cubes of 4.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So each of those are organized in different sections. So I have a Star Wars section, a Harry Potter section, a movie section, a Tombstone section. I actually have all 4 Tombstone characters.
Oh wow.
I bought those very recently. I have a wrestling section that has the New Day, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Oh yes.
And then I have a music section that is Johnny Cash, Jimi Hendrix, Slash, and Angus Young.
Yep. I have 3. I have 3 of the 4. I'm desperately looking for Jimi Hendrix. I'm also looking for the Misfits skull Funko Pop with like the red cloak. I'm desperately looking for that, but I heard that's like very hard to find. Same with like Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance.
I'm looking for the Judy Bagwell Funko Pop.
Shut up.
Oh.
Yeah, to give you context, Kirby, we just did our NXT Takeover predictions podcast. All of our members, and our buddy Evan decided. Did I just go away?
No, you're here. You're good.
You're good. We can see you.
Anyway, Evan decides to bring Mike. We were talking about MJF versus Jungle Boy, and all of a sudden Mike goes, "You know, it'd be a dream match: MJF versus Buff Bagwell's mom." and as we went on in the predictions, every now and then either Mike or Evan will mention Judy Bagwell, and I would get. At first it was funny, but then the joke just kept stretching, and I was like sick of it, and now I don't care anymore.
Hey, let's get back to the wrestling interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's your question, Julian.
Question. All right.
That's how you can figure up other things you're thinking.
Yeah, we're a very professional
We're a
podcast.
very professional podcast.
We try to be, Mike. I don't know. Anyway, my question for you is, I already said favorite match, but like what? Oh, least favorite match in GTS.
Ooh, okay.
I'm sure that
Exposing the biz.
Grim, if you're watching this, he doesn't mean it.
No, so this isn't my least favorite match. That's going to take me a quick second to think about, but it is funny. I've wrestled Grim 3 times, 2 or 3 times, and each time I've gotten hurt somehow. Grim is an extremely safe wrestler. I don't have like a bad word to say about the guy, but every time I'm in a match with him, I get hurt. The first time I wrestled him, I got punched in the ear.
Oh, I remember that actually. I was like, oh my god, did he actually just get punched? Or...
Yeah. So he like throws me in the corner. He starts throwing haymakers, and I'm fall back. And as I came forward, he missed my chin and clocked me in the ear, and like the whole ring started getting shaky. And I was like, okay, I'm still there.
Yeah.
I think.
I was gonna say like any match with Jimmy Controversy.
So. Honestly, how many times have I wrestled? I think I've wrestled Jimmy 3 times, and we have actually had some fairly decent matches together.
Yeah, because you're carrying Jimmy. Jimmy can't carry a match to save his life.
Never said that.
I said that.
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth. Controversy. God, those shitty drop kicks of his.
They are terrible. They're probably about as bad as my drop kicks. my drop kicks are atrocious.
He barely gets off the freaking ground.
I think I would have to say, not because it wasn't fun, it just wasn't anything that I would brag about, is I had a match against, what do we call him? Oscar Voorhees or Mike, Jason Myers or something like that. It was
sounds familiar.
It was a Michael Myers parody for a Friday the 13th episode. And the big reveal at the end of the episode was that Drax was underneath the mask.
Drax Mason.
And so it was an okay match, but it was not something that I'm gonna send a promoter saying, "Here, hire me."
Drax Mason. Yeah, it explains why he was tag team partners with Jimmy, because he's there. I just big controversy. I mean, Mike, what I've asked a million times, like, if we ever get Jimmy Controversy on, I'm out. I don't know. That guy, and he will not shut his mouth.
Oh, you could fill at least 3 episodes of just Jimmy talking, not answering questions, just him talking.
Yeah, hello, I'm Jimmy Controversy. Let me tell you my life story. I was born in like a small town in the middle of North Bumblefuck, and
North.
If I ever get to announce Jimmy on GTS, that's where he's going to be from now on.
No.
From North Bumblefuck, New Jersey.
God, I remember the early days of Jimmy Controversy when he was Willow. God, I still don't like him now, so nothing's changed. His Tito the Clown character is kind of okay, but then I remembered who's under the mask.
I liked it because I'm a fan of Stephen King and It, so I could kind of gravitate to it, but everyone else hated it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
My turn.
Oh yeah, it's your turn, dude. Yeah.
Oh, where was the first wrestling school you trained at? Was it at GTS or was it somewhere else?
The first wrestling school I trained at was in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It was a very small school called Southside Pro Wrestling. It's unfortunately defunct right now, but it had a lot of it had 3 main classes by the time I had gotten there. It had the original class, which was 4 people at the most. And it was just all these people who learn to wrestle by wrestling each other. The second class, which was maybe 5 or 6, and then those 12 became probably some of the most talented people that I had seen wrestle in the area. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't wrestle anymore, but some of them still do. And then I was class 3 or 4 right after. So I basically learned from those guys. So I mean, shout out if they are listening. Guys like Sterling Williams, Curtis the Man Mack, which was actually my first ever appearance on screen for anything, was me in my buddy's borrowed gear taking a diving elbow drop from Curtis as a promo video. He was supposed to be in a big match, so it shows him do the elbow and then pose. And I thought I was on top of the world when I got in that video. Just even seen. And then here I am, on a popular YouTube show, wrestling on the indies. It's crazy. Trying to think who else. A guy whose name I still can't pronounce to this day, so we just called him S12 because he had a very, very long name.
Why don't you take a picture?
For the Tuck Your Chin Instagram story.
You get a better photo of me.
Oh, sure. We can all do the thumbs up. Good. There we go. Back to answering the question.
And then a really, really close personal friend of mine who, I reached out to for, a little bit of advice, and then we end up becoming, best friends. And he's come through on a handful of occasions for me. Kevin Quill.
You sound familiar.
I'm very familiar with him, yeah.
Yeah. So those guys, I owe a lot of credit to helping me get started, and then a lot of people along the way basically helped pick up what I was missing. Like a guy named Preston Quinn. He wrestles down in North Carolina, Virginia area. He basically taught me how to throw the punch that you guys see me throw on GTS. And because when I started, my punches were terrible. They looked so weak. They looked so like just yeah. That's how they look. The best punch I could throw was the Dusty Rhodes jab because I like just stretched my arm out. Yeah. And then he taught me how to throw a punch. And I remember this specifically. The first time I threw that punch in Jersey, I heard the crowd gasp. I was like, okay, I know I'm doing a good job. Because apparently it looked like I decked a dude, so I give that credit. My best friend and basically the closest thing to an older brother I have, one Mr. Bo Crockett, has helped me through everything from being in-ring to anytime I have a gimmick idea or a promo idea. If you guys know anything about me on the indies, I wrestled as one half of the Sons of Liberty with Nate Mustang.
Yeah.
So Bo was actually in the Sons of Liberty in Virginia with another tag team partner. And when me and Nate were trying to come up with a team name, he goes, why don't you just call yourself the Sons of Liberty? And gave us the name, and it worked.
Yeah.
So I owe Kevin, PQ, all of those guys so much credit for getting me where I am now.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're doing amazing right now, man. Big fan. Big fan.
And of course, we're big fans. We wouldn't have him on the podcast.
Hey, who knows? Julian.
All right. So, that was a really good question, Mike.
Yeah, I just, I took your question you were about to say, put it in the toilet, and flushed it.
Hey. Yeah. Well, I mean, my questions are usually for Jay's just ripping on Jimmy Controversy. God, if he happens to see this video, I would not be surprised if he hits the dislike button.
Hey, that's fine. I mean,
that's more views for you guys.
Amen.
Yeah, we do this for fun.
Oh, yes, Julie? Let me know if you want me to ask a question.
No. Oh, favorite theme song in all of wrestling, aside from yours.
You said favorite theme song?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's kind of a biased opinion because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I just loved the song. And then right before he started using it, it started popping up everywhere, so I just gravitated to it even more. CM Punk, Cult of Personality. I heard Stone Cold's Hall of Fame, like tribute package was Cult of Personality. I was like, oh, this song's really cool. And then I found it on Guitar Hero, and I was like, this song is really cool. And then Punk started using it, and I was like, all right, I'm set. This is it.
Yeah.
Even one of my brothers has it as his ringtone when I call him. So
hey,
I am partial to the Cult of Personality.
Amazing song. Amazing song.
Too.
What?
Amazing band too.
Oh yeah, Living Color is fantastic.
We need to get Living Color on the Moshcast.
Yeah, we'll find them.
I mean, that's about as good a chance of getting fucking Starship on the Moshcast.
I don't know who that is.
You really?
Oh, we built this city.
On rock and roll.
Yeah.
Uncultured swine.
Hey, Coming from a guy that listens to Nickelback, I am an uncultured swine.
Hey, I've seen Nickelback live, so I don't want to hear it.
I was supposed to see Nickelback live.
Honestly,
let's not even start.
As much as people hate on Nickelback, when I saw them live, they were actually really good.
Thank you.
But on top of that, their opening bands blew them out of the water.
We're gonna have to talk about that in like 20
Shaman's
minutes.
Harvest, Daughtry.
Shaman's Harvest. Oh.
In the more
No,
time.
their opening bands were Shinedown and Breaking Benjamin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm guessing
band.
2010, 11, somewhere like
It
that.
was 2010, actually.
Oh wow! I was like, thinking like, was Shinedown really big? Because they're a headlining band now.
Yeah. No, they could have headlined it, but they just it was one of those concerts where they were not the headliners, and they killed it. And then I saw them 2 years ago in Texas, and they killed it even more.
Yeah, let's just talk about that amazing band, Breaking Benjamin.
I love Shinedown and Breaking Benjamin. Both of them have never. I've seen them both twice, and both times they have been.
My first concert was Breaking Benjamin,
And
I was like, wow. I saw them with the 3 Days Grace and Chevelle tour last summer.
Shine better. Anyway,
Shut the fuck up, Julian.
I mean, I'll stop him when he's lying.
Oh, you know what? We're just gonna get on to the next question.
next question. I feel like Mike's gonna have to need some therapy after this.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna need some fucking WD-40 to glue the arm back on.
WD for the Craftsman. Oh God, I'm singing a fucking Toby Keith song. Next question, Mike.
Oh, yes, sir. So how did you come up with the name J. Kirby?
Okay, so I have to bring up a gimmick that I'm not a fan of, but I did it, and it was over, sadly. My original wrestling gimmick, I was a nerd. Like, Revenge of the Nerds, Pocket Protector, glasses with tape on the frame. It was atrocious. But somehow, I hated it. I despised it more than anything. But somehow, some way, we were the most over tag team in the area. When we came out, the crowd lost their minds. And I still, to this day, could not understand why, but it worked. But when I finally transitioned out of that gimmick, I was trying to come up with something new. I was trying to come up with a version of basically what you see now. And I was rolling around names. I'm trying to think. And my brother said, do not use your real name. I was like, okay. So ironically, the name that I was going to use, this is actually a family name, but I can see where the negative press was going to come from. I was going to use the name Cameron Rhodes.
Oh.
Yeah. That reaction right there. So, interesting fact, that is actually my mother's maiden name.
Rhodes.
So, the Rhodes family. And then my brother's like, don't do it.
You're going to be in a lawsuit?
Yeah, you're going to be in a lot of trouble and a lot of heat with people because they think you're stealing the name of somebody famous. When I wasn't. I was just using a family name. So, it's like, okay. So, my dad's stepdad and my grandmother, their last name was Kirby. So I was like, okay, I'll use Kirby. Now I just got to come up with a new first name. So I end up using my real middle name, Jay. So I used the family name Kirby, my actual name Jay, so that became J. Kirby.
Kirby J.
That's a...
I also like to point out, but Mike, that was a cool shirt change.
Oh, yeah. I was getting cold.
Yeah, well, because you have a giant fucking fan on in the background, so. Yeah. Speaking of fans, that leads on to the next question. How would you describe the GTS fans?
Like those fans?
No,
Or
not
like
not the literal fans, Mike.
Yeah, because the literal GTS fans sucked. The warehouse was so fucking hot all of the time. Both were just ovens. And then you wrestled there in the winter, and it was just as cold. Oh my goodness.
Now I bet you're happy you're outside now.
A little bit. There are times where it like rains during matches, and we're like, why can't we be inside? I still to this day want a match in the snow. We did not get that much snow last year, so I was really disappointed. Like, I basically want to have a snowball fight on camera. Is what I want.
We didn't get any snow this year either.
Yeah, this winter was not fun. So
yeah. That's the best word to describe 2020.
Yeah.
But as far as the fans go, I have to say, outside of the YouTube comment section, because that's just a toxic place in general.
Sewage bowl.
Oh,
I hate YouTube commenters.
Anytime that anytime that I've ran into someone who is a GTS fan in person, it's honestly a huge honor. I got of all places. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, GTS is filmed in New Jersey. Yeah. And a lot of the local people know GTS, but it's very sporadic where you are and aren't recognized. I was in Lexington, Kentucky at a convention, and this little kid, I think he was probably 9 or 10, dressed as Kane. Very well done, by the way. It was a legit, Attitude Era Kane, and it looked awesome.
Ooh, like debut, like right when he,
yes.
Yes.
Like debut Kane. Came up to me and goes, "Hey, aren't you Kirby from GTS?"
No.
Why, yes, I am.
I am.
Like, it caught me off guard because literally not 2 minutes before this, I had just met Edge and Christian. So I had Lexington Comic-Con in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because WrestleCon is isn't that like Florida or something? I don't remember.
Yeah. Something like that.
WrestleCon's in Florida. So this was just a random comic convention that they were at, and I, of course, had to meet them. It's Edge and Christian. So I got to meet them. It was awesome. It was cool because me and my brother, we got to do the 5-second pose.
That's badass.
And then 2 minutes later, some kid recognized me. So I went from marking out for Edge and Christian to getting marked out by someone at the convention. And I was like, okay, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I'm at an indie show in Indiana because I was visiting my family, and some kid ran up to me at intermission, goes, "Hey, aren't you Kirby from GTS?" Yes, I am. So
that could be a new T-shirt. Well, yes, I am. With a thumbs up.
Why, yes, I am.
It's just a cool experience. Getting recognized in general is such a cool experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't through GTS, but it was through wrestling. I got recognized one night at dinner. I was out at dinner. I want to say it was Don Pablo's or somewhere in Jersey, and some little kid and his mom walked up to my table. And they're like, "Hey, my son's a fan of yours." And I was like,
"Why, yes, I am."
Wow. Hi. It's a thank you. I was shocked. I couldn't use words. They wanted a picture with me. I was like, "Yeah, of course, 100%." And I've even told fans because a parent came up to me at a show once, and they're like, "Oh, my kid saw you out in public once, but they weren't sure if they were able to talk to you." So I literally pulled the kid aside and kneeled down. I was like, "If you ever see me in public, please come up to me." And for anyone watching, if you see me in public, come up to me, say hi, say you're a fan, because it literally makes my day. Whether I'm getting booed or cheered for at a show is one thing, but fans recognizing me and telling me that, they appreciate me or anything like that, that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Is for people to enjoy what I do. So it's a really cool experience. And the GTS fans are amazing.
Of course. So my next question on that topic. So do you prefer?
I'll be back, guys. I gotta go get some real quick.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Hi,
you can.
Kirby.
Oh, Mike.
Don't worry, I'll hold down the fort. So, talking on that subject, being booed and cheered, do you prefer being a heel or a babyface? Do you have a preference?
So, I enjoy being cheered for, and I enjoy being a face, but that's it's been 90% of my career I've been a face. But it is easier to be a heel.
Yeah.
It is much easier for people to hate you than it is to like you, especially when the first thing you do when you walk through the curtain is tell everyone to shut up.
Hey.
I've gone places where I've been damn near booed out the building, and it's amazing because I'm getting the reaction that the promoter wants. But when I come out and people are chanting Kirby, or it's a loud pop for something I do, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to be a face, and it's really fun to get cheered for, but it's very easy to be a heel. And depending on where you're at and what you're doing, it's kind of fun to be a heel sometimes.
Yeah. So my next question is, did you have a plan B when you first started training? Like a backup job in case it didn't work out?
So, yes. If you don't know who this is, Brutal Bob Evans, he wrestled for Ring of Honor for a short time, and now just wrestles up and down the coast in the Indies. He always calls it his Clark Kent job. So outside of wrestling, I do have a regular job. I guess it's kind of a regular job. I go to work every day, but it's not exactly a regular occupation. I am actually in the military, and thank you. That is how I have bounced around so much, from Indiana to Virginia to Jersey to North Carolina. I've just been stationed places, and luckily, wrestling's very cool and very strange at the same time, because you can meet one person in an area or who says, hey, I'm from here, and they can get your foot in the door to spread out to a whole new group of people. So I have one friend in Texas. He lives in San Antonio. His name is Paul Titan. He's part of a tag team called the Pillars of Destiny. Shameless plug for Paul if he ends up listening to this. I love Paul to death. He is a huge gentleman. He's like 6'3", 6'4", big Viking-looking dude. And I texted him and I was like, hey, man, I'm going to be in Dallas for school for about 6 weeks. Is there anyone I can get a hold of, or anywhere that I can message to, try to get a booking while I'm here? And he's like, yeah, hit this person up. And I messaged that person, and it got me 2 bookings while I was in Texas. And I met like 2 or 3, I met a handful of people that I really connected with. So, wrestling and the military has really helped me spread out as far as my little social circle.
Yeah, man. So, what's the best advice someone gave you when it came to wrestling?
Okay, the best advice someone has ever given me came from Dolph Ziggler. I met Dolph Ziggler at Tribute to the Troops in 2013, maybe. Whatever year he was Mr. Money in the Bank. I want to say it was 2013. Him, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Layla, and Torres, Eva Marie. I forget the fifth person, and I apologize to them. All came to the base I worked at. And, of course, being the young, up-and-coming wrestler that I was, because I'd only been training maybe a year at that point, I immediately sought out their advice. So Orton's advice was funny because he said, don't get hurt doing something fucking stupid. Calling back to his shoulder debacle when Triple H shoved him over the top rope and he cracked his collarbone.
Ooh.
Ironically, he tells me, don't get hurt doing something stupid on Friday. Sunday night, he clotheslines Big Show, and you just see his arm do that in the middle of a match. And I was like, oh, that's ironic. His shoulder just straight up came out of socket, and you see it like dangling there. The trainer runs over, pops it back into place. Hot tag comes in, RKO 1, 2, 3. But Orton told me don't get hurt doing something stupid. Dolph Ziggler told me be the hardest working person in the room. Be the first one to show up and the last one to leave. I always put in like 100% effort. And like that hit me. I was like, damn. And I've tried my best to live by that. Ironically, someone who has I guess fallen out of ire lately with a lot of fans, and myself almost included, Jim Cornette. Yeah, exactly. He actually gave me some really good advice. He told me have fun with it. Have fun with wrestling. Enjoy your time in wrestling because it's a blast of a time. It's a crazy business, but it's so much fun, and I really appreciated that. Because at the time, I was nervous. I was worried about getting over. I was worried about if I'm doing the right thing. And then I'm just like, I got to have fun with this.
Yeah. So, how about Mark Henry and all those peeps? Did they give you anything or no?
Mark didn't say much. He was very nice, though.
Yeah.
He was super, super cool. He is big. Real big.
Like
what? I'm about I'd say maybe 2 inches taller than Mark Henry, but when I shook his hand, and I'm a fairly decent sized dude. I don't have long hands, but I have some sausage fingers. I shook his hand. It felt like I did that. His hand was so big, it felt like I shook hands with a bear. It like just enclosed on my hand. I was like, oh my goodness. But he was actually like super busy. He was like getting interviewed for the show. So I just had a chance to say, hi, super cool to meet you. He said thank you, and that was it. But he was super down to earth, super, super nice. So was Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was like really, really down to earth. Orton wasn't a jerk, but he wasn't like super warm and inviting like everyone else was.
Yeah.
Orton's a dick.
See, I've heard that stigma, and I've seen that stigma. I could see where he could rub people the wrong way.
But I've met Orton twice. One time unintentionally. I was 2012. I was I was 11 years old. I was at a Toys R Us. And I was just looking at the action figures, and all of a sudden, right next to me, I was no joke. I was looking at getting a Randy Orton figure, and all of a sudden, I just looked to my left, and all of a sudden, I was like,
"It was one of those double takes."
Yeah, I had to do the double. Like, wait, that.
Was he approachable or no?
Me or him?
Oh, no, Orton. No,
Yeah.
I was asking Julian.
Okay.
I bet he thought it was like, oh, like he's a little kid. I gotta be like stay up to him. So, but also one of my proudest wrestling moments of all time was getting to meet Roddy Piper.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Hey,
very
me,
cool.
Julian. Take a screenshot of that. No!
Hold on here. Redo it. Here you go.
Did that work? You got it. Oh,
Nice.
this is gonna be
Very
a good
nice.
fucking shirt.
Like 9 years old. And I got to hang out with Roddy Piper the entire day. He was super, super cool.
I think the coolest people I've gotten to meet. Well, I've gotten to meet a lot of people actually. I guess the person I had the longest interaction with. Let me rephrase that. I got to wrestle the Barbarian, like old school 1980s WWE. His nephew actually lived in Norfolk, and I was literally probably 3-4 months into wrestling at this point. I'd been training since October, debuted in February, and this was like May 1st. My trainer and the owner of the promotion comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you want to wrestle Andrew and his uncle at our scope show?" Yeah. Yes, I do. I about shit a brick. That is a large gentleman. He's like 6'5". I want to say he was like late 50s at the time. Solid as a brick fucking house. At like 57, solid. But probably one of the nicest dudes I have ever met. And it's funny, he's not known for his promos. So you don't get to hear Barbarian talk very often. He has a very, very thick tongue and accent. And so every time he told me about, because I was, of course, the face, because he's this big, brooding, bulking dude. Why is me smash. Why is anyone going to cheer for him as he's literally murdering a nerd? And it was literal murder. It was a 15-minute match. I got the shit kicked out of me for 10 of it.
Oh my god. I'm guessing you guys lost that match?
Yes, we did. But he kept telling me when I get the hot tag, I have to get the people behind me. He every like 2 minutes after telling me about a spot, get the people behind you. The people have to be behind you. And I was like, I'm gonna get the people behind me. Like I was amped. I was like so excited. Okay, so cool story about the same weekend. I'm mad that I didn't take advantage of one particular thing on this story, but it's still fun to tell. I partied with Rikishi.
No, get the fuck out of here.
So there is I can't remember the name of the place to save my life right now. I'll probably remember it tomorrow and shout, that's it. But right now I can't remember it. There's this club down on the Virginia Beach oceanfront that everyone goes to. And somehow, some way, the promoter got Rikishi like a little VIP area in the club and got all the wrestlers into the club for free that night. And so I got up there. I got to say hi to everybody. Just hung out at the club. So 2 funny parts to this story. The first part is they played his entrance music while he was just chilling there. And the dance floor was empty. And me and my tag team partner damn near got on the dance floor and did the Too Cool dance.
Oh, that is awesome.
We almost did it. We should have, but we didn't. What we did do, however, is we showed up to a club in gimmick. As nerds. Bro, when I tell you, I got more attention that night than I have ever gotten in a club in my entire life because I was dressed head to toe like a stereotypical nerd. Oh my goodness. Everyone is like, what is up? Oh, I'm a wrestler and I'm wrestling a show tomorrow. And like I was promoting the hell out of the show and I got so much attention and it was awesome.
Hey, that's awesome, dude. God, I wish I got to say, like, hey, I got to party with Rikishi. Not every day that happens. Like,
Right?
yeah, nice of him. Like, yeah, he paid for everybody, all the wrestlers to get it for free. I was like, that's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
I bet he's a super chill guy, right?
Yeah.
Who, Rikishi? Oh, super chill.
That was my last question, Julian. So if you want to take it, if you want to end your tuck your chin part of this episode with the question, I think we have to save it for last.
I'm surprised we saved the tuck your chin question for the last question.
Oh boy.
So, Mr. Kirby,
Okay.
this is a recruiting segment on their show where I get to ask the guests a very special question. So there's a lot. We like to talk about the good, but on this podcast, sometimes we have to talk about the bad, and there's a lot of bad finishers out there.
Okay.
You know what we're about to say. You probably already know.
All right, let me hear it. I want to hear this question. This ought to be good.
What are your thoughts on the wrestling maneuver, the overdrive?
Oh, he's laughing. He's trying to hide it.
So my honest answer, I love that move. I really do. When I found that move on, what game was it? Like, WrestleMania 19 for the GameCube. It was Randy Orton's finish. It was before the RKO.
The Ozone, yeah.
Yes. I saw that. I thought that was the coolest move in the planet. It looked like I had broke someone's neck. I was like, this is amazing.
If applied correctly, you could break someone's neck.
Yes. Now, I've seen it done really good, and people sell it really good, and I appreciate those. And then I see ones that are terrible, and I'm like, oh god, just change your finish. For the love of God, change your finish.
It's like when Heath Slater does it.
Yeah. I've never seen MVP do it bad. Like he always throws it really good, but I've never seen like hardly anyone else use it effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hilarious.
I thought we get three answers, and that is, what the fuck is that move? Fuck that move. And did someone tell you to ask me about that move? Those are the common three we get. Mike,
it's Bronson. That was the first one, and then Nick Stapp asked us if someone. Every person from Creative Pro asked us if someone, because it's a joke inside Creative Pro, I guess. It's hilarious, man.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I think we know what time it is, Julian. We were saving this. We were saving this. Moshcast time. Tokuchin meets Moshcast. So let's talk about music. Hit us with your bands, Mr. Kirby.
All right.
Doesn't even have to be bands. Could be any artist as well.
So, I listen to a little bit of everything. So my all-times, I would probably give AC/DC, Metallica, loves me some Johnny Cash, because that's one of my dad's favorites. Yes, very nice. Loves me some Angus Young. Recently, yes, I think that's the same one I have. No, I have the one with the guitar across the back.
Yeah, I do need that one. This is from the Folsom Prison album. I think you have the Men in Black album.
I shout out to another one of my dad's favorites, Bob Seger. I've always appreciated Bob Seger. So Bob Seger, somehow, I have a funny story behind this, has avoided me seeing him live all of my life. And I literally mean that. In 1986, Bob Seger did a tour of Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. And I wasn't alive in 86. Then he did a very similar tour in 96. I was too young to go in 96. Then he did his comeback tour when he came out of retirement in 06. And I was ecstatic to go see him, and my parents didn't take me. So then I ship off for boot camp. I get down to Florida for school, and then he goes on tour again in 2011. And I'm stuck in Florida seeing people post, going to see Bob Seger, going to see Bob Seger. I hate all of you. All of you. So and what's really sucks is he was supposed to do his farewell tour this year. And I was trying to get tickets, but
COVID happened.
Yeah, tour dates are not happening right now. For anyone.
If you don't know that, look that up.
2021 could be your year.
Yes. Fingers crossed, 2021 is the year that I get to see Bob Seger live for the
and if you do,
first and final time.
Yeah. And if you do, you got to come on the Moshcast and we can talk about it.
I'm all about it. Bands I've been listening to recently. I had tickets that, thank goodness, got rescheduled. They didn't get canceled for a concert with Five Finger Death Punch, Papa Roach,
Ice Nine
Prevail, and Ice Nine Kills.
My favorite band, Ice Nine Kills.
I have been listening the shit out of Ice Nine Kills lately. I love it. I think so. I'm a creative person. I've always gotten really into writing and movie making. So when you give me two albums, one based off of classic literature, which is their Every Trick in the Book album,
and then Silver Scream, which is off of horror.
Yes, and then Silver Scream, which is all the horror movies or dark comedies. Shout out to you, Edward Scissorhands. That is amazing to me. Like, that is so genius. It blows my mind. Ironically, what's funny is on my podcast, my co-host is like, shameless self-plug, Curbside Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the KIRB Curbside Podcast. She is super into horror movies and super into like creepy, macabre, and urban legend shit. So the fact that I've been listening to this album and can talk to her about it, it's so cool. And it's literally one of the albums I've been playing on repeat constantly. And of course, I've been listening to I Prevail.
Man.
I saw, what was it, 2018? So 2 years ago in Texas, I got to see Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin.
Is that with Nothing More or Bad Wolves?
I want to say that was with Like a Storm. I think, because I saw two concerts that summer, and the two bands that opened kind of meshed together. Because one had Like a Storm, the other one I don't remember the name of the band. But one concert was Breaking Benjamin and Five Finger. The other concert was Shinedown and Godsmack.
Yeah. For that Breaking Benjamin tour, it was Nothing More and Brad Wolf. So it might have been that Shinedown concert.
Yeah.
Or that opening.
Also, I appreciate any rock band that plays a didgeridoo.
Oh, that's Like a Storm. Yes. That band.
When I saw the didgeridoo, I was like, no way. I was like, yes. But that's what I've been listening to rock wise. I do have a hip hop playlist that I break out every now and again. A lot of NWA, Wu-Tang Clan.
Yep.
I don't know if he's well known or not. An artist named Jadena.
Never heard of him.
So, have you guys ever watched Luke Cage on Netflix?
Yeah,
I have not.
Okay, so the guy who performs "Long Live the Chief" in Luke Cage during the club, there's a club scene where Cottonmouth literally has the club empty and it's just one dude on stage singing a song called Long Live the Chief. That is Jidenna. I started listening to him after I watched Luke Cage. He is fantastic. And of course, this is going to sound really dumb, but one of my favorites of all time is Eminem. So I have a little bit of all of them scattered through. And another one that not a lot of people talk about, Tech Nine. I have Tech Nine on my hip playlist as well.
I'm from Missouri. He's from Kansas City.
Yup.
I love Tech Nine so much.
Now this is a good question. Any bands you do not like, hate?
Me and Mike both agree on one band.
Oh.
No, actually, I like one song.
I'm trying to think of bands that like. There are plenty of artists that I will just immediately shut off, but
Yeah.
it's obvious ones like, you know, I don't listen to Justin Bieber. I don't listen to
All the Littles.
Yeah, I don't listen to. I very, 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 very rarely listen to Rihanna. People of that nature, I don't exactly care for.
I would like Nine Inch Nails.
So the pop industry.
There are some that I appreciate. Like, it's gonna sound weird, but I am a really big fan of Lady Gaga. She understands entertainment to a T, and she's not a terrible singer either.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
Yeah. So I think she's one of the ones that gets a pass.
Billie Eilish?
I haven't listened to enough of her to get an opinion. I know some people that love her, some people that hate her. I haven't really listened to her yet.
Yeah, she's
see.
very entertaining.
Woo!
I like that creepy aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shock imagery, the creepy imagery that she is known for like recent albums and stuff like that. I really do enjoy that. So
I'm gonna have to give that a try. Start
with Bad.
A band that I forgot to mention just because I'm probably the closest word to say is in love with the lead singer, Hailstorm.
Oh.
I love Hailstorm. Oh my goodness. I can listen to Lizzie Hale. I could listen to Hailstorm all day.
Lizzie, if you're watching, this man needs a date. And,
I don't know. Wait, is she? I don't know if she's in a relationship or not.
hey, that's okay.
I think she is, but she's not married. A band that someone you guys would know introduced me to. Hollywood Hooligan introduced me to a band called Lacuna Coil, which
I love Lacuna Coil. They're metal band.
really good. They're really good.
Christina Scabia.
Oh, I saw that and I was like, I'm both terrified and in love.
The two biggest bands that have been on repeat as of late is Stained and Motionless in White.
I do like Motionless in White.
Yeah, I'll be seeing them live.
I like Stained, but I haven't listened to them in so long. But if someone puts on Stained, I'm not going to say no. If someone's going to be like, hey, do you mind if I put on some Stained? Fuck yeah, put on some Stained.
By the way, funny enough, I just saw on Loudwire today, they're working on new music.
Nice.
I'm excited and nervous because I know Crabby Uncle Erin.
No Kirby Uncle Erin. He's good.
Have you seen his freak out?
His country concerts, yes, but not his rock concerts.
I've seen a couple times where he had to stop a couple stage shows because they can't get along with someone.
Oh, speaking of stopping shows, one of my favorite bands, I'm not a big fan of their current lead singer. And what sucks is I'm a big fan of his original band. I do not like Axl Rose as the lead singer of AC/DC.
Yeah.
I love Guns N' Roses. One of these days I'm going to come out to the ring to Welcome to the Jungle. I don't know when, but one of these days I will. But I I can't do it. I can't have Axl Rose as part of AC/DC.
You don't want this guy. You
No.
do not want this guy.
No. A band that really... Okay, so another concert story. Probably one of the greatest concerts I've ever been to, hands down, except for the opener. I went and saw Disturbed last February. Oh my
Wait,
God.
hold on. You're not going to shit on 3 Days Grace right now.
I am about to shit on 3 Days Grace right now.
No.
So hear me out. Hear me out. Okay?
I saw them live last summer and I love
Hear me out.
He's losing his shit right now.
He's losing his mind. Okay, so first off, Disturbed, if you could turn a concert into a movie, that concert would have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Hands down. Best picture.
Disturbed.
Disturbed is amazing. I will never say a bad thing about Disturbed ever. 3 Days Grace. I loved 3 Days Grace with 1X, which whatever album Break was on, I don't remember because it was high school and it was like
Life Starts Now, the album.
Yes, thank you. 1X, Life Starts Now. Those albums are amazing. Was it Not
The
Like
one with
You
Home On?
that they? No.
Just Like You. That was the song.
Just Like You with Apocalyptica.
Yeah.
The little side.
Apocalyptica.
I don't care anymore. Was that the one?
It's just called If You Are Dead or Still Alive.
Yes, that one.
I
love that. I love all of that with like a passion. I will defend that 3 Days Grace to the death. I'm not a big fan of their new lead singer. Now he did his stuff okay, like
Painkiller.
Painkiller. He did Painkiller. Painkiller was really good.
I Am Machine was really good.
I Am Machine was good. Like I love all these songs on the radio. I won't say that they're bad songs on the radio. If they come on, I'll listen to them. But when I saw them live, him doing the old stuff just did not feel the same, and it hurt.
Yeah.
He did Painkiller. He did I Am Machine just fine.
Adam I've Become was. I mean, his screaming so much better than Adam.
I don't know.
Who was that to me, Julian?
Yeah. Adam Gonte is a way better screamer than Matt Walsh.
Adam, he screamed. When did he scream? That's a good question.
Watch some old live videos. Matter of fact, watch this DVD. Live at the Palace, 3 Days Grace. Watch it.
Very nice. But yeah. So to bring this more into a positive note, Julian, I see your poster over your left shoulder. A band that I love so much.
Jesus.
And I'm about to say this, and it's going to sound pretentious, but I'm going to say it fucking anyway. I saw them before they were fucking popular. I love Skillet. I saw Skillet when they performed in front of maybe 500 people in a church in downtown Indianapolis, and now they're fucking megastars. Yeah. I love Skillet. I've loved Skillet since the Collide album.
I love Skillet since the Comatose was what?
Yeah.
Honestly, but the first song I heard was Monster. I guess it was the Awake album that started off, but then
this
was my favorite.
The first concert that they performed Hero and Monster, and when they dropped that voice, the crowd stopped, just in shock. We're like, "What was that?"
Like a monster.
And then, boom! And it went right back to normal. Like, we were in shock. I literally, because me and my friend who went with me were making jokes about it the whole time in the parking lot. We sounded like Batman from freaking Dark Knight because our voices were so shot from that concert. I love
church.
At a church. Let that sink in. That's how amazing Skillet is, ladies and gentlemen. I blew my voice out at a church concert for Skillet. Now imagine what they could do at an arena, in a stadium.
I have seen them in an arena.
Oh.
Holy crap. It is so much more. I've seen them at a festival. I've seen them at 3 types of shows. I've seen them at a club show, arena show, and a festival show. All 3 times, very good.
Amazing. Trying to think. Oh, and of course, if anyone watches me on the indies, you know I use Resistance as my entrance music.
It's the resistance. You can't resist us. Da-na-na.
When that guitar riff goes off, oh my goodness, I feel the chills.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god. I'm looking for that vinyl. I loved the Unleashed album. I wasn't a huge fan of Victorious, though. I honestly... Oh, if you don't know what Victorious is, that was their most recent record that came out last year.
I do remember that. It was okay.
Yeah, honestly, if you listen to... I love Save Me. That's my favorite song off the record. But if you listen to Feel Invincible and you listen to Legendary, they're both pretty
totally different.
Exact same. Oh my god. Yeah. It's like, feel it, invincible, dun dun, legendary, dun 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 dun. Yeah. Listen, everybody listening to this or watching this, go listen to both those songs back to back. Or even mash them up if you can, because they are both pretty much the same song.
A good song that, for those of you who don't know, me and Hollywood Hooligan are actually part of a tag team. We haven't gotten to debut yet because of my unfortunate knee injury. But we are actually going to use Rise as our entrance music. And I think it is just going to be so perfect.
What's their tag name?
Lost in Hollywood. Because you have Lost Boy Kirby and you have the Hollywood Hooligan.
That makes so much sense.
Thank you.
Well, Julian, should we go with the turnover?
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the podcast called the Tuck Your Chin Turnover. And now, what is the Tuck Your Chin Turnover, you may ask, Mr. Kirby? Well, this is where we allow our guests, we hand the power over to them, and they ask us questions.
The Curbside Cast with special guests, Julian and Mike.
The Curbside Podcast is taken over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Curbside Podcast. I am your host, Jay Kirby. Unfortunately not joined by my co-host, the lovely Master of the Macabre, the Scream Queen herself, Britt. Could not be here tonight. But I am joined by Michael and Julian of the Tuck Your Chin Podcast.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, everybody?
So,
we need to do that, like Curbside Podcast meets Tuck Your Chin Podcast. We're doing a couple of those. Like for the Moshcast, we have our good buddy Kevin. He has the Chord Progression Podcast. We're doing Chord Progression meets Moshcast. That is coming soon.
Very nice. I don't want to call them crossover episodes, but I have done stuff with a podcast called Leveling Up with Ben Banks. Ben Banks is a gentleman that I helped, I don't want to take all the credit, but he trained at the same school that I did. I helped him where I could, but he has really taken off as like his own entity. He's gotten himself over, and I'm super proud of him. But he started Leveling Up, and they talk about all things pop culture, video games, movies. He even had me on before Curbside to talk about the Star Wars prequels. So then when I did my May the 4th episode for Star Wars, I had him on as well. But I guess my first question and my biggest question is, how did you guys pick me? Because I know there's a lot of people on GTS. And I'm not trying to sound like down on myself or down on the crowd, but I can tell when I get overlooked sometimes. You know, like I'll go watch an episode of GTS where I was like, oh, this match was amazing, and it was so intense, and then like everyone's talking about somebody else. So
Hop storyline.
Yeah, they talk about Pete or Jay or, Grim. Every now and again I'll get,
Jay Kirby.
a Kirby comment or, glad to see Kirby's back. But, I can get overlooked sometimes. GTS has a large pool of people, and unless you are right in that spotlight, it's easy to be overseen. So why me? How did you guys pick me of all people?
Well, Mr. Kirby, we had a few. Well, obviously it's not easy to get Grim, Mr. Hop, Mr. Corvus on, and I'm a big fan of yours. I grew up watching GTS, so you were there part of my childhood, probably including Mr. Purnell over there. And it kind of helped that we're Facebook friends, and I just messaged you. So, hey, we've been trying to get a lot of indie guys on, and, we started with Cheney, Mr. Tony Cheney, and now we have you.
We tried, should I say what other person we tried to have on?
Yeah, you know what? Let's bury him.
Go for it.
So, this piece of shit.
Oh, here we go. This escalated. Hold on, that escalated quickly.
Sorry, I get very character. Thank you for noticing. But also, this piece of shit, Dalton Hawkins, you backed out on us in the last minute, you piece of shit.
He was like, yeah, I can't get Skype, so we can't do it. But he doesn't know that we both have Messenger, and we can literally do it on Messenger too. So he's like, you know what? He was really like, oh, I got another wrestler for you to interview. I don't know shit about this wrestler, so I don't know. I can't just go into an interview without knowing the guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my opinion about Dalton to myself. It's we'll just say it's not. We'll just say it's not a positive opinion sometimes on Dalton's behavior. That's the right way to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if there is one thing I'm good at in wrestling, because I'm going to be honest, that list is very limited. I'm very self-aware on where I stand in the pecking order. The one thing I'm really good at in pro wrestling is being professional. So I'm not going to come on a podcast and
bury anyone.
Start burying, start shooting, If I shoot on anybody, it's going to be to put them over.
I mean, besides Jimmy Controversy. Yeah, but besides that,
I can bust Jimmy's balls, and that's about it. I'm not gonna sit here and bury the poor kid.
Yeah.
Me and him have done good work in the past, so.
Yeah, me and Mike are not wrestlers, so we don't care.
Yeah, you guys don't. But it's ironic, spoilers for anyone who listens to the Curbside podcast, that you guys had Cheney on before me, because he is actually the next guest on the Curbside podcast. We are going to be recording Friday night. I'm going to talk to him about, coming to GTS, him getting trained by Dom Truex, and our... I don't know if you want to call it infamous, our road trip down to North Carolina this past December, where as part of his Tony Cheney vlog, he stole my goddamn wrestling boots, only for me to announce that the Lethal Lottery tournament that he was in was a random draw. So him and Joey Angelo were not going to be teaming that night. Turnaround is fair play.
Yeah, Cheney's such a cool dude, man.
I love Tony Cheney.
Yeah.
Not to get all personal and deep, but I had some personal questions and I had some personal worries a couple weeks ago, and I messaged Cheney, and he helped me out so much.
He's helping us out too. Literally right after we were done recording, he was like, you know what? Send me all your handles on Instagram. I'll follow you and let's go in a group chat.
Definitely, guys. That reminds me. follow me Twitter, follow me Instagram, follow me Facebook. Keep in touch with me because I'd love to do this. I'd love to do more. I'm trying to branch, shameless plug time. I'm trying to branch out the Curbside show. I do the Curbside podcast. I'm also going to start I've kind of started. I've had like one or two. I do game streaming, and so I'm also trying to get into that. Say again?
On Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch right now. I've dropped one or two videos on Facebook, and that's about it. But I literally last weekend spent most of the weekend setting up my systems so that everything's nice and feng shui on my desk. I literally tore my Xbox apart and cleaned it out so that it runs at peak. I've got PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and I'm trying to just spread the word of the Curbside podcast. I'm forgetting the con, and I feel so bad because the nice gentleman who hosted it invited me on, and he wants to do some stuff with Curbside. But there was a comic convention this past summer that got unfortunately canceled, and they were going to have us as a guest at the convention. We were going to get a booth and set up. You might be able to see it. There's a little box right here.
Yeah.
Big-ass Curbside banner with our Twitter handle, with our logo, with everything on it so everyone can see it.
Do you guys have merch or no?
Not yet. We are working on it.
I'll give you some recommendations after we're off the air.
Please do.
We have to plug other stuff too.
Oh, you're gonna plug all of that, Julian. Shameless plugs.
I'm gonna botch his last name. I'm sorry, but Mark Gavaris on Facebook is the nice gentleman who helped me set up my appearance at his convention. And as soon as I remember the name of the convention, I will plug that as well because it's getting rescheduled. It didn't get canceled; it got rescheduled for next summer. Delcomania, that's what it was. Delcomania was going to have the Curbside podcast as guests.
Is it a giant deli?
I wish I would go to a deli convention.
Turkey, provolone, mayo sandwiches, all day. Just keep them coming.
Ugh, I hate mayonnaise.
I love mayo. that sounds like
go,
a kick-ass sandwich. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, like certain people like it, certain people don't.
Yeah.
I'm a texture guy, and I'm not texture mayo.
So Kirby, what else you got for us, man? What other questions, man? This is the turnover, man. I like the first question so far.
Okay. So you guys asked me what my favorite match is. As fans, what has been some of your favorite Kirby, J Kirby, or Mr. Kirby matches, or Lost Boy Kirby, for those of you who are indie fans, that you've seen?
I think when you went heel in GTS and you feuded with Grim, I may have fucked that up.
No, you're right. I did turn on Grim and went heel.
Yep.
I believe I had a handful of matches as heel Kirby. I had a match against Grim. I had a casket match against Pete Corvus.
That one's probably my favorite.
That one was a fun one. I love Pete Corvus. I love working with Pete. It's always a blast to even be in the ring with him.
Yeah.
And then I had a very sad and emotional loser leaves town match against Landscaper and Ulfric.
Wait, Ulfric, the Viking guy though.
The Viking.
What are you with? You're a tag team with him.
We were a tag team.
Well, he wasn't Ulfric. He was something else. Was he?
No, I teamed with Ulfric at one show. We called ourselves Out of Time because he was a Viking and I was a time traveler. We did the loser leaves town match, and I don't remember if I won or if Lance won, but all I remember is I think Lance won, but Ulfric was the one who got pinned. And sadly, he had to leave GTS.
for a bit. He came back for one episode and then he left again.
You may be right. I don't. Sadly, I don't remember every episode of GTS, and I sadly can't always catch episodes. So if you snuck in there, welcome back, Ulfric. I miss you. Okay. So if you got since I've taken over your guys' podcast, outside of Hooligan, who is someone you guys would love to see me team with on GTS?
Tony Cheney.
Tony Cheney. Okay.
No, that's actually really agree with you, Mike. I think you and Tony Cheney would be a really good tag team.
Yeah.
A lot better than Joey Angelo.
Oh, you ain't gotta Joey. I like Joey. I give him so much credit because when he started, he was very bland and very emotionless, and he is really, really grown into his own. With the familiar gimmick, with doing. I'm not a huge fan of participating, but I'll watch it from afar. Some deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
Especially when they killed Onslaught, and I had to be the ref for the match.
Oh my god!
I literally thought he was hurt, and I was like,
I'm gonna dip my palm.
When they lit that table on fire, as the ref, I was like, he's in danger.
You did it kind of like that?
And then just chicken fight.
Boosh! I was like, oh my god. I basically dove in there, and I was like, are you alive? He was okay, but he was hurting.
Yeah.
Poor Onslaught.
By the way, I'm joking, Mr. Joey Angelo. If you happen to watch this, please don't come after me.
I love you, Joey. Don't let them convince you otherwise. Okay. Interesting question. Who is one person you guys would love to watch me wrestle, and the one person you guys don't ever want to see me lock up with?
Jimmy Controversy.
You do or don't want to see me wrestle? Don't. Okay, so you don't want to see me wrestle.
First part, Jimmy Controversy. Second part, Dalton. Just don't. No.
You want to see this guy lock up with Jimmy Controversy again?
Hey, it's better than seeing Dalton. I'd rather see Jimmy.
Actually, no. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Dalton for no, but for yes, I want to see you lock up with Jay the Key Evans.
Oh, I love wrestling Jay. There's an old, I don't even remember what show it was, but me and Jay were in a fatal 4-way elimination match.
I think I saw, but
and
or something. I don't know. Either Jay Evans or Kurt Bale.
It was some kind of like YouTube title tournament. It was like 4 fatal 4-way matches, and the winner of each match went into another fatal 4-way. But it was me, Jay, Grime? Is that his name? He was this comedic character that Grim used on a separate show. And Wampus was the 4th man. So
we don't curse. Waste to waste. I'm Grime, the professional. Welcome to Grime's Super Duper Show.
That guy, he gets it. So match starts. Grime clocks Wampus with a title belt and pins him and eliminates him. Then me and Jay surround Grime and be like, just lay down. We don't have to hurt you. And that's what he did. And we 1, 2, 3. And then me and Jay for the next 4-ish minutes, because surprisingly, if no one's ever noticed, GTS matches are not that long.
No. If you haven't watched it, you should know.
Yeah. So for the next 4-ish minutes, me and Jay Evans had the most indie-rific match ever. And it was phenomenal. It was he went for like a like a pop-up Hurricane Rana, and I power bombed him. I went for the Death Valley Driver, and he like sling bladed out of it. It was just so much fun wrestling. It's a blast wrestling Jay, and I love working with Jay Evans.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Man, that's awesome, man. Yeah, either Jay or Kurt Bale. I think Kurt Bale would be a really good opponent to have.
Oh,
I love Kurt. He's awesome.
Oh, I love Kurt too. I don't think I've had a singles match with Kurt in maybe since he debuted.
Oh yeah, I forgot because he came in like when they had was it the first or second warehouse he came in?
First.
Oh, yeah, it was. Because I remember
It was the first warehouse. He had a rivalry with Joe, and so during one of the episodes, I wrestled him in Joe's place. And from that point on, me and Bale were great friends. Because when we planned out the match, we both looked at each other and be like, we should hate each other and brawl. Want to have a hockey fight? Yes. And from that point on, me and Bale have always gotten along. And then during the match, we had the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn hockey fight. Where we just grabbed each other and started throwing punches. But I love Kurt Bale. He's probably one of the best workers on GTS.
Yeah.
I would love to have another singles match with him.
Yeah, that was like those were really great days. I mean, I remember like the what was it, RWA? Is that what it was called? Matt Castle's company.
Yes.
Oh, I miss Matt Castle. What happened to Matt Castle, man?
I don't know. He like smoke bomb, just gone.
I mean, hey, yeah, man. I mean, was that like an actual thing? I mean, just curious. Yeah, I'm not even gonna ask.
No, we'll let that storyline stand.
Like ruin anything for GTS. It was like, wait, what? That what? But yeah, I remember like the RWA like feud with like Grimm and Matt Castle. Yeah. That was like a really cool rivalry, and so like just to see, like, I loved the invasion of the second warehouse, and it was crazy. That's actually really crazy because that was a very smaller warehouse compared to the first one.
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, did you actually like? I want to talk about the eviction of the first one. Was that like an act? Like, did that actually happen?
To my knowledge, yes. It was just because, and like I said, this is to my knowledge. I can't speak for any kind of back workings with Graham or any kind of buildings that he owned, but it was like we would be fine. No one would say anything to us Sundays when we were filming, and then Grimm would get like a message saying, you know, this person complained that you guys were too loud or you guys left all this debris out in the road. And so, like, eventually I don't know if we left on our own terms or if they just got tired of us. I know a lot of us were just tired of them telling us one thing one day and then the complete opposite the next.
Yeah.
You know, like, we had that really cool entranceway and no one said anything for like 2 months. And then all of a sudden they came in and like, oh, this is a fire hazard. Since when? So,
yeah,
very hard to, like, you never really know with like, especially with like warehouse people, like, or any storage people anyway, like, cause like they'll tell you one thing this day and then the next day like, oh, it's like it's something different, and like I don't know how that was with like the second warehouse, cause yeah, it was small, but y'all made it work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the second eviction came, and now you're in a.
Yes. Now we're back to the yard. It does kind of suck, you know, having to wrestle outside sometimes, you know, weather or whatnot. But it does give us like so much more freedom.
Yeah. Because
there are so many times where like, you know, we can't bring in this person because we have to pay the warehouse rent, or, you know, we can't do this because we don't want to destroy it. And now we have a yard where if we're going to break something, we're going to break it the right way. I tell you what. Like the time I almost killed Jake Reaper.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that match? One of my last matches in GTS?
God.
Oh,
Now,
my
if I
goodness.
rewatched that, I would remember not coming.
So it was right after Jake cost Shamar the GTS title. I came in like a house of fire and tried to beat down Jake with a golf club. He rolls out of the ring. I'm beating him down more. And I take the golf club and like wind back up. And I swung with all my might. And he got out of the way just in time. And this TV that he was sitting in front of, the screen exploded. Just boosh. It sounded like a gun went off.
Was it like old TV or was like
it was like an old school like box TV.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes,
It was crazy. I think what happened? I think I curb stomped him and then I put like a chair down. No, I didn't curb stomp him. I hit him with my my Casey Jones baseball bat. Dropped him to the ring, put a chair on top of him, and then just start hitting the chair over and over and over. And Pete was the ref, and Pete actually stopped the match because I was just basically attempted murder. He's like, okay, the match is over. He's unconscious. He's done.
Yeah, man.
So that match was crazy.
Yeah, you nearly killed the poor bastard.
It's the match. Whatever. So what else you got, man? A few more, whatever you got there.
Okay. So as the unofficial longest reigning hardcore champion in GTS history, thank you, COVID, for allowing me to hang on to a belt, basically keep it hostage. That was not my intention, but it is what it is.
First time anyone's thanked COVID-19.
It'll probably be the last.
No one.
So, outside of the hardcore title, what is something you guys would like to see me go after?
YouTube
GTS
title.
YouTube title? Wow.
Wrestling Figures Heavyweight Championship.
Well, I appreciate the confidence, guys.
You should have been champion a long time ago, dude. That's okay.
I do appreciate that. Okay, let me.
Hey, if you want this one to be your last one, hit us with it.
Trying to think of like a really good one. Okay. If you could see GTS bring anyone into the show for just like a one-off. Now, the only consolation is it can't be signed, so you can't say, I'd love to see Roman Reigns show up at GTS. That's not happening. I mean, someone that if Grimm somehow came up with the money, they would actually show up. Who would you like to see?
Nasty Leroy.
That's a good one.
Or Bam Sullivan.
Okay, Bam Sullivan. That's actually a really good one. I'm trying to think of people who you haven't had on because most of the people we've had, they've been on creative. Like you've had Bear Bronson, you've had the Shook Crew, you've had freaking Phil Carter. Oh yeah, that's right. Philip. Wait, wasn't Philip? I could have swore Philip Cardigan was on. Wasn't he? Wasn't Philip? Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right. CPA was on. I would say
Kip Stevens was on.
Ariel and X.
Yeah.
Those are good ones. All right. So here's my last question. For the Curbside podcast, who would you guys like to see me bring on the show and interview?
The Tucker Chin podcast.
Shameless self-plug. I love it. You guys are gonna go far.
Alright.
But no.
So I guess for a real answer, trying to think of people you haven't had on.
Like, could it be anyone? Wrestlers, musicians, everything?
Wrestler, musician. Now, granted, Curbside Podcast does not have a huge budget, so like I probably can't.
Don't worry. All the people we hit up didn't ask
I
much.
probably couldn't have, get a hold of Ice Nine Kills as much as I would love them to be on my podcast, and I would ask them all of the questions. I probably couldn't afford that.
Julian, Cade, get Cade on the Curbside Podcast. You will laugh your ass off for 2 hours.
Who?
Cade Katz from Throw the Fight.
Oh my god.
Cade from Throw the Fight. I will send you his Instagram. Hit him up. He will come on.
Okay.
Throw the Fight's a really good band. They're really fun.
They're coming back on after they drop their EP in August.
All right. So yeah. I guess since that would definitely be the music one. For wrestling related,
Bam. I think Bam. I would pick Bam.
Either him or Bear Bronson.
Yeah.
I would love to have Bear Bronson on the show because I love Bear Country. That is one of my favorite tag teams on the indies right now. Their matches versus oh my goodness, no, the Rep. I almost forgot. I love the Rep. The Rep's probably one of my favorite tag teams on the indies in the area. I hope nothing but success for Dave, Bishop, and Nate. But their matches with Bear Country are fantastic.
Oh yeah. So, that was the last question. So let's do our favorite part of the podcast, the outro. So Kirby probably is gonna do the best one here. So Kirby, shameless plugs and whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised you said this is your favorite part because your favorite part is that the interview is over.
No. My favorite part is
my favorite part's the turnover, dude. I like when guests ask us questions.
But don't you think it's funny when guests try to do outros too? When they don't have podcasts.
Kirby, give your outro.
All right. Shameless plugs. Follow Lost Boy Kirby on Facebook. Friend J Kirby on Facebook. Follow the Curbside Podcast on Facebook and on YouTube. The KIRB Side Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TLB Kirby. You can follow the Curbside Podcast on Twitter at Curbside Podcast. I think I'm on Instagram under TLBJ Kirby. And follow me on Twitch, Mixer, under Zerk, ZERK 8612.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Julian.
Okay. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to do my Instagram TV outro. Thank you guys so much for watching the Tuck Your Chin podcast. Thank you so much to the one and only Jay Kirby from GTS Wrestling coming on. Go follow him on all social media. Go follow his Twitch, his Mixer, everything. Go listen to the Curbside podcast. And of course, we gotta also plug Mike Shift and Mike Shift Spam.
Don't follow it. Don't follow it.
Absolute dog shit. But anyway, I also want to thank his father, Paul Shift, for making the amazing Tuck Your Chin podcast t-shirts.
Hey, did yours come in the mail?
What?
Did yours come in the mail?
I don't think so yet.
Hey, get out there right now. Go. Go do your outro while you check the mailbox.
All right. But I promise I will definitely check. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, for having me on again, even though I'm always on here. They don't call me the co-host for nothing.
Yeah.
Again, go follow Mike at Mike.shift and Mike was it MikeShift.spam? Is that it?
That
There.
was it.
And also follow Tuck Your Chin on Instagram and Twitter. And also go subscribe to it on YouTube. Go subscribe to the Moshcast on YouTube. And as well, thanks to our good friend Keira, you can now listen to it on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and SoundCloud. And also I'm Julian Purnell, the Heavy Metal Joker, coming soon to Instagram TV that's Heavy Metal Joker _HOH. Instagram TV stuff, top lists, album reviews, concert coverage, festival coverage, you name it, I'll probably do it. Well, not really anything, but whatever comes to my mind, I'll probably think of something. But maybe some interviews if I can get that to work. But again, thank you so much for watching the Tuck Your Chin podcast. I said that way too many times. And as always, I'm not doing the intro today because my throat hurts. Don't forget to tuck your chin.
Hey, Kirby, I see you there, my friend.
He gets the memo. Mike, take it away.
Well, everybody, thank you again for coming on. Thank you, Kirby, for coming on for this amazing episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching this almost 2-hour episode. We were just talking, man. It was a fun one.
It was 2 hours.
Subscribe, hit that like button, comment, post notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow us again on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, all that fun stuff. Buy our merchandise. Hopefully by the time this thing's up, we have a store up and running.
Mike, I gotta do the right outro. So, I'm gonna do Grimm's outro. Okay, here we go.
Wait, can I finish mine?
Yeah, you go on ahead.
Yeah, guys, and most importantly, don't forget to tuck your chin, everybody. And Julian, take it away. I'll let you finish it.
Oh God, I almost did like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, but that's not wrong. Okay. Please like a video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more.
Grim, if you're not down with that. Oh no! If you're not down with that,
we got 3 words for you.
Eat it. Yeah.
Oh, eat it. Yeah. And